Visit a store today.
Good morning, America. Breaking news overnight. North Korea's stunning claim saying it has launched its first intercontinental ballistic missile. The long-range rocket traveling hundreds of miles. Could it hit the U.S.? The incredible new pictures of Kim Jong-un celebrating the launch. The U.S. now assessing the claim. President Trump condemning the action on Twitter overnight.
Face to face, President Trump ready to square off with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The high-stakes first meeting with the man accused of meddling in the U.S. election. Will the president confront Putin about the alleged hack as Putin brings his new demands to Trump?
Venus Williams breaking down the tennis superstar overcome with emotion.
There are really no words to describe how devastating. Maybe I should go.
Unable to speak at her first press conference since that deadly car crash near her home in Florida. Will she be able to go on at Wimbledon?
Fireworks inferno. 4th of July festivities sparking a dangerous blaze in Arizona. Flames shooting up as families celebrate the holiday. The dry and hot weather canceling fireworks displays as dozens of wildfires burned across the Southwest.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA.
Hey, good morning and happy 4th, everybody.
Yeah, all morning we're going to be celebrating this Independence Day all the way from Washington. You see those iconic monuments to New York City with that live look at Lady Liberty, and she is looking quite festive this morning.
Also here in New York City, they're getting ready for the famous Macy's fireworks display, the largest in the country, as Americans across the nation get ready to fire up the grills, hit the beaches, and wave the flags on this Independence Day.
You going to do any of those three things? Fire up the grill, hit the beach, or wave the flags?
You know, my wife and son are up at Grandma's place, so I'm going to watch whatever I want on television tonight. That's what I'm going to do. How about you?
I'm going to be going to the fireworks. There'll be 9 of us.
Ooh,
and the kids will all be melting down by the time the fireworks start at 9 o'clock. So happy 4th, everybody.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
That's right. It's great to be here with you, Dan.
Likewise.
But first, on this Tuesday morning, breaking news, a July 4th provocation from North Korea. They claim to have launched their first intercontinental ballistic missile, as we refer to as an ICBM, overnight. Perhaps a major step toward their goal of being able to hit the United States with a nuclear weapon. ABC's James Longman is in London covering this developing story for us this morning. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Paula. A stunning claim overnight. North Korea saying it successfully tested its first intercontinental ballistic missile. The announcement came on state TV early this morning, with a secretive regime releasing images it says are of the launch. Now, as usual, it's very difficult to know for sure what's going on in that country, but Japan confirmed overnight that the missile flew for about 40 minutes before landing in the ocean. If true, this would be the first time that North Korea has tested a missile that experts fear could potentially reach Alaska. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and other officials were shown celebrating the successful launch. And overnight, President Trump was tweeting about the test. He asked, does this guy have anything better to do with his life?
And, James, this comes on the heels of President Trump's summit with South Korea's new leader. But how is the U.S. reacting this morning?
Well, Paula, U.S. officials tell us they're analysing the test. At this point, they believe it was a more standard mid-range missile. Tensions, of course, between the U.S., its allies and North Korea have been on the rise, and the regime saying they've carried out at least 11 missiles tests so far this year. And just last month, the death of 22-year-old American college student Otto Warmbier, of course. He was there after 17 months in captivity. And remember, it's not just about how far a missile can travel, but whether the technology is there to support a nuclear warhead. Paula?
Seems they've been more bold and brazen in their actions. James, thanks for your reporting this morning. Dan?
We are in treacherous times indeed. James Longman, thank you. Let's bring in ABC News consultant Stephen Ganyard, a former State Department official. Steve, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan.
So whether or not this is an ICBM, would you say this launch is nonetheless a genuine step toward North Korea having the ability to hit us here in the mainland U.S. with a nuclear weapon?
I don't think we should be too worried about what we call at this point, Dan. The fact is, this is the first time, if the analysis is correct, that we're seeing a North Korean weapon that can hit the United States. Not the mainland, but Alaska is very much part of the United States, and this is a very worrying development.
President Trump has been trying for months to get China, North Korea's most important ally, to intervene here. But in a phone call on Sunday, just hours before this test, President Trump told the Chinese leader that the U.S. is now willing to go it alone on North Korea. So I guess my question for you is, what exactly does that mean? What are our options?
Well, President Trump's really stating the obvious. Because China has left us on our own, there's nobody that's going to solve this except the United States. And the problem is with this launch, it's no longer just a regional problem. This is a U.S. problem because it can now reach the U.S. territory, soil. So right now, the only thing the U.S. has is economic sanctions. It's the same thing that the past 4 U.S. presidents have. The problem is it's going to involve sanctioning Chinese banks, which is going to further exacerbate our very sour relationship with the Chinese. And so there's an interesting knock-on effect here. This missile launch will in fact ruin or make our relationship with the Chinese much worse.
No good options. Steve Ganyard, thank you very much for your analysis on this holiday weekend. Paula, over to you.
Thanks, Dan. Lots of news this morning. The Trump administration is getting ready for its first Independence Day celebration in the White House. The focus will be on honoring veterans and military families. Trump is also preparing for the G20 summit. He leaves tomorrow, making a stop in Poland on his way to the critical meeting with world leaders. And the president will have come face to face with Vladimir Putin. The question this morning, will he confront the Russian leader over that country's interference in the U.S. election? ABC's David Curley is at the White House for us this morning with more on that. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Paula. We are not hearing from the president about that meeting coming later this week. He is tweeting this morning about the North Korean missile launch, but he is preparing for that big G20 summit in Europe. This morning, ahead of his big meeting, the president has been dialing for diplomacy, calling nearly 10 world leaders. But it is his first face-to-face with Vladimir Putin, the man accused of meddling in the U.S. elections, that will get attention. 2 men who during the campaign spoke glowingly of each other.
Putin, he said Donald Trump is a genius.
Putin praising Trump, leaving some Democrats wondering if all these kind words led to cooperation during the presidential campaign. The election hacking, contacts between several Trump confidants with Russians, and possible collusion. Now the subject of congressional and a special counsel investigation. For several years, Mr. Trump stated he had met the Russian leader.
Tough guy. I met him once.
But now says this will be their first face-to-face.
I've never met him. For 3 years, 13, 14, and 15, that you did have a relationship with him.
No, look, what do you call a relationship? I mean, he treats me with great respect. I have no relationship with Putin. I don't think I've ever met him. I never met him. I don't think I've ever met him.
Syria, Ukraine, just 2 friction points. The Russians also say they want their 2 U.S. diplomatic compounds back, facilities shut down by President Obama for the Russian interference in the elections. The Trump White House won't say if the elections will be part of the discussion with Putin.
This is very important for us to make a statement that Russia does not meddle, not just in our elections, here and the future, but in our allies.
The Russians are now telling us this morning the 2 men will be meeting on the 7th, Friday, in Hamburg, Germany. We do not have an agenda, guys, as to exactly what they will be discussing during their pull-aside meeting.
David Curley at the White House, thank you. So let's bring in ABC News Chief Political Analyst Matthew Dowd. Matt, good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy 4th to you and Paula.
Thanks.
Thank you. So in this meeting with Putin, does Trump have any choice, really, but to broach the issue of election meddling?
Well, you would think he would have no choice, but all the reporting and all of the things we've heard is that he is not going to bring it up. But it's obviously the dominant issue in our U.S. politics of how much they meddled in our elections. But I think Donald Trump is in a sort of a precarious position because one of the only friends he has is Vladimir Putin in the international community when he meets over in Europe.
And Matt, Putin is expected to demand from President Trump that the U.S. return those compounds that were seized by the Obama administration back in December. And Russian officials have warned that retaliatory measures have been drawn up if this doesn't happen. How do you see this all going down?
Well, I think this is such a crucial time, as you all talked about, related to North Korea and everything going on, how much presidential temperament matters in these times. And I don't really know how it's going to go down. It almost sounds like Donald Trump's going to be involved in another real estate deal, but this time related to our the diplomatic compounds of the Russians. I don't really know. I don't think Donald Trump, as I say, because one of the only people that he has a friend right now, a real friend, is Vladimir Putin. So how much he pushes that is a real big question.
Matthew Dowd, we always appreciate your analysis, and happy 4th to you, sir.
Yeah, and Matt, you always have a friend in us, by the way, just in case you were wondering.
I feel like it's Saturday, but now it's 4th. Let's do this every 4th of July.
Yeah, happy weekend, everybody. Sorry to confuse all of you. Thanks, Matt. And now we want to send things over to Ginger and those dangerous wildfires that have been threatening the Southwest as well as the West. Good morning to you, Ginger.
Good morning, Paula. 29 large wildfires burning, mostly in the Rockies and the Southwest. This one from Parker, Arizona brush fire. You can see over the Colorado River there that intense flame, all set by fireworks at the Blue Water Casino. That's why officials are telling a lot of people, please do not set off fireworks on this 4th of July. Sparks, Nevada, for example, this fire shut down I-80 for a time. Now it's back open, but my goodness, the conditions are not good, y'all. Fire watch and warning around Reno. Excessive heat watch now in Phoenix. Heat advisories up to Idaho. That ridge is building once again. Look at the numbers in Phoenix, up to 116. What happened was they had a lot of moisture for the spring, a lot of foliage builds up, then it dries out, Paula, and fires fuel.
Yeah, thanks for that explainer, Ginger. I know you're going to be tracking this story all morning. And we know that so many are traveling this holiday weekend, 44.2 million Americans, according to AAA. But now the traffic app Wjla, which I'm sure a lot of you use, has narrowed down exactly when you do not want to be on the road today. It anticipates, everybody, the worst times for driving are going to be between 3 and 6 o'clock p.m. based on data from last year. Traffic is likely to be the worst in urban areas holding fireworks displays tonight. Then Wjla says to expect a 3% increase in traffic after those shows as people make their way home. All useful information from one of my favorite apps, Dan.
Best to be careful on the road if you're hitting the road today. We're going to turn now, though, to what some are calling Beachgate. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie under fire and unapologetic after these pictures hit social media. That's Christie and his family enjoying the beach, even though he had just ordered state beaches to be closed as part of a government shutdown. ABC's Ariel Reshef is on the story. Ariel, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. The 3-day government shutdown in New Jersey is now over after a late-night budget deal, but Governor Chris Christie is still facing a wave of backlash over his time at the beach.
This morning, Governor Chris Christie doubling down on his right to be here on this deserted stretch of sand.
The governor has a residence at Island Beach. Others don't. This is the way it goes. Run for governor, then you can have the residence.
A local newspaper on Sunday afternoon snapping these pictures of the governor and his family on a beach he ordered closed to the public. One of 40 state parks shut down in the midst of a budget deadlock. Boy Scouts forced to cancel their campouts. Joggers turned away. Christie defending his holiday escape.
I think I've proven over the last 8 years that I have a choice to make between my family and political optics, and I'm going to pick my family.
But some local beachgoers not amused. This banner flying over the New Jersey shore. Just hours after these pictures were taken, the governor at first implying he was hard at work to reopen the government.
Governor, looked like you got some sun. I didn't get any sun today.
And the governor's spokesperson backing his boss, saying Christie, quote, did not get any sun because he had a baseball cap on. Christie also tweeting that despite the shutdown, 119 of New Jersey's 130 miles of coastline are open, as his approval numbers stand at 15%, making him America's least popular governor, while social media had a field day with the now trending hashtag Beachgate, sparking memes of the lounging governor dropped in iconic scenes from the Oval Office to Forrest Gump.
Governor Christie says he was only at the beach for 40 minutes before getting back to work on the budget. And this morning, we know all of the beaches in New Jersey are open just in time for the 4th of July holiday. Paula.
40 minutes, not long, but long enough to be photographed. Ariel, thanks for your reporting this morning. And now to Wimbledon and Venus Williams, the tennis superstar, breaking down in tears at a press conference when she was asked about the fatal car crash she's being held responsible for. And ABC's Adrienne Bankert is here with the story for us. Good morning, Adrienne.
Good morning to you too, Paula. It was uncomfortable. Venus started out composed, grateful for her first round victory at her 20th Wimbledon. But when questions turned to that June 9th crash, after tears overtook her answer, the room fell silent and no one knew what to say. Venus Williams overcome with emotion. After celebrating victory on the Wimbledon court Monday, the tennis star breaks down at a post-match press conference when asked how she's coping following that deadly car accident last month.
There are really no words to describe like how devastating and yeah, I'm completely speechless, and it's just, yeah, I mean, I'm just
The 7-time Grand Slam champion unable to continue, visibly shaken, crying softly before leaving the stage. It's the first time Williams has spoken publicly since the car accident that ultimately killed 78-year-old Jerome Barson and severely injured his wife Linda. The police report states that Williams was at fault for violating the right-of-way of the Barsons' vehicle. The Barson family has since filed a wrongful death suit accusing Williams of driving carelessly and recklessly. The family also wants access to evidence, as their attorney told George Stephanopoulos.
There are video cameras that were placed at guardhouses where Ms. Williams lives, and the police have refused, after multiple requests, to turn those over to us.
Despite being found at fault, Williams has not been ticketed or charged in the accident. And Venus left crying, as you saw there, but later returned to the stage to answer a few more questions. Now, according to legal documents obtained by ABC News, the Barsons' daughter, named in the lawsuit, is seeking at least $15,000 in damages. Those specifics on that total amount are not known at this time.
It's incredible. She'll still be able to compete through all this. And Adrian, we'll see you a little bit later in the show. Thanks for that reporting.
Absolutely.
And joining us now is ESPN tennis commentator Pat McEnroe. Pat, happy 4th to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's obviously a tough situation for Venus, no doubt about it.
Yeah, you know, but Venus has been at this a long time, but the accident, as you saw, just really wrecked her in that press conference. How does she play through this?
Well, it's going to be difficult, obviously, but Venus Williams, if anything, certainly, as you mentioned, has a lot of experience. And, you know, oftentimes when players are going through difficult things off the court, this is certainly very difficult. And we all think about the poor gentleman and the family who lost his life in this accident. That's number one. And I think you could see from Venus's response that she's feeling that as well. And a lot of times the players, though, can use the court, the practice as a refuge from things that are going on in their life. My guess is that Venus will try to do that. This is the tournament where she's had the most success in her storied career. And interesting that her sister Serena, of course, is not here because she's waiting to give birth to her first child. So she's not here. And before this incident happened, many of us thought, hey, this is Venus's chance to win a 6th Wimbledon title. Obviously, this puts a lot of that into question as how she can handle this moving forward.
Yeah, so the fact that it's Wimbledon, that's going to bring her a little bit of comfort because she's won 5 times. But police say that Venus is at fault. She hasn't been charged. We do want to note that. The family has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against her. But do you think that it'd be good for her to take a little bit of time off maybe after this?
I think that would probably be wise for her to do that. Obviously, this is Wimbledon. This is, you said, this is the place where all tennis players want to be. And I think being here in familiar surroundings will help her. But certainly after this tournament, you would think she might need a little break.
All right, Pat, thanks so much for your analysis this morning. Everybody, you can see live coverage of Wimbledon today on ESPN. Dan.
Let's check the forecast yet again with Ginger. Hey, Ginger.
Hey there, Dan. Yes, the picture behind me shows you tornado damage from Jonesboro, Arkansas on Monday. That is a piece of siding injected into the side of a house and coming through. So we got the outside and the inside look there. That was an EF1 tornado that ran through. All right, let's go ahead and get to the Tuesday trivia now, brought to you by Walmart.
Well, pretty typical for Independence Day in Washington. It's going to be hot and humid. Day 5 of our current heat wave will climb into the low 90s, but stay weather alert. Storms possible between 2 and 8 o'clock. But as of right now, most of the storms look like they should be out of here by the time the fireworks are going off. But you're going to be sweating today. We're already going to be feeling like the low 90s by 11 o'clock, feeling like 94 by 3 p.m. By the time you're seeing the fireworks, it's still going to feel like the upper 80s. We'll have thunderstorm chances for the next several days. Less humid this weekend.
Coming up, I'm going to show you potential for tropical storm development.
You look
Something
so
else on your
happy.
holiday.
You look so happy saying that.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
It's exciting, meteorologically.
Weather nerd.
She is a weather nerd. Beautiful weather nerd. Thanks, Ginger. And coming up on this Tuesday, chilling new details in the case of that missing college student, the suspect making his first appearance in court and the shocking visit he made just one day before his arrest.
And caught on camera, the hot air balloon that crash landed in a pond filled with alligators. We're going to hear from the people on board.
I don't want to lie down. I refuse to lie down. Why suffer?